Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling completely drained, with no energy in your body, and even your manhood seems to be fading away? If you've been experiencing this, understand one thing clearly. This is not just normal aging. In fact, your body is sending out an urgent signal, warning you that every single night you're missing a critical vitamin. Without this nutrient, a man's health declines faster than you realize. Energy fades, muscles lose their strength, and intimacy in the bedroom becomes a struggle. My name is Dr. Nam Hung, a urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping thousands of men. Many of them once believed their decline was inevitable, but the truth is very different. Here's the paradox. Plenty of men eat well, exercise regularly, and do everything they can, yet they still feel tired, restless, and powerless in the bedroom. Why? Because hardly anyone knows that as you age, your body naturally loses this hidden vitamin. And once it's gone, your nighttime recovery system shuts down. The good news is this: when you restore this vitamin at the right time, each night your body begins to renew itself. Your bedroom performance returns, your muscles surge with energy again, and your sleep becomes deeper and far more restorative than you ever thought possible. In just a moment, I'll reveal exactly what this vitamin is, why your body loses it so rapidly after 60, and the simple nightly habit that can help you regain your strength starting tonight. Stay tuned, because what I'm about to share could be the most important turning point for your health. Before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on valuable health tips made specifically for men. And I'd love to hear from you. If you find this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I can improve and bring you even better content in the future. Now let's get right to the core of the message. To understand why taking one specific vitamin at night can completely transform your health, you first need to know what really happens to a man's body while he sleeps, and why poor nighttime recovery is the very first sign of accelerated aging. Many men in their 60s and 70s tell me the same story. Doctor, I went to bed at a decent hour, thought I slept through the night, but when I woke up, it felt like I hadn't rested at all. By mid-morning, my energy is gone, my desire has faded, and my erections are nowhere near as strong as they used to be. When I look into their eyes, I see the frustration. They've convinced themselves that this is just what it means to grow old. But here's the truth: that feeling of aging isn't caused by age itself. It comes from the body losing its ability to recover during sleep. Nighttime isn't just rest, it's the engine room of your health. While you sleep, your body works harder than you realize. Testosterone is produced at its peak. The blood vessels in the penis expand and repair themselves, setting you up for strong morning erections. The prostate finally gets a break from inflammation. And the mitochondria inside every single cell recharge, giving you energy for the day ahead. Sleep is nature's ultimate reset button for men. Without deep restorative sleep, that reset never happens. You carry yesterday's exhaustion into today and then into tomorrow. I'll never forget a patient who once told me, "Doc, I feel like I aged 20 years overnight." And in many ways, he was right. The difference between a man who feels 60 and one who feels 80 often comes down to the quality of his recovery at night. When sleep is shallow and interrupted, the body can't rebuild itself. And that decline shows up first where men notice it most in their vitality, their performance, and their confidence as men. But here's the hopeful part. Once you restore your body's ability to truly recover at night, everything begins to change. I've seen countless men regain their strength, wake up sharper in the morning, and even rekindle their excitement for intimacy. And it all came down to one simple thing that most men completely overlook: the body's ability to repair itself during sleep. The secret lies in a nutrient that your body is practically starving for after 60. Once you restore it, you'll understand why I call it the night vitamin, the missing piece that makes male recovery possible. So what exactly is it? The answer is magnesium, the night vitamin. Over decades of working with men, I've learned that the male body is incredibly resilient, but it has one condition: it needs the right fuel to rebuild itself. And this is where most men stumble without realizing it. During the day, they may eat reasonably well, get some exercise, try to manage stress. But when night falls and the body should be preparing for deep restorative sleep, something crucial is missing: magnesium. Without it, the entire system of male recovery breaks down. Sure, you might close your eyes and sleep for 6 or 7 hours, but your nervous system never truly powers down. Instead of slipping into the deep stages of sleep where testosterone surges and blood vessels repair, you toss and turn, wake up to use the bathroom, or lie there with a racing mind. The cruel reality is that magnesium deficiency is invisible. You can't see it happening, but night after night, it quietly drains your strength, energy, and virility. I remember a gentleman in his late 60s who told me he felt betrayed by his own body. He had always been active, but suddenly he was waking up exhausted, snapping at his wife, and embarrassed by his weakening erections. Tests revealed he was severely deficient in magnesium. Once we restored his levels within weeks, he described feeling alive again. In his exact words, "Doc, I didn't realize how much of my manhood I had given up until I got it back." That's the true power of this one-night vitamin. Magnesium is the quiet guardian of your strength, vitality, and deep restorative sleep. Without it, your heart beats faster, your muscles stay tight, your prostate struggles, and your erections weaken. But when your body has enough, everything changes. You finally relax, your sleep deepens, your testosterone rises, and you wake up each morning with energy and power instead of exhaustion. This is why I often say, if you're over 60 and dealing with fatigue and fading erections, don't blame your age, blame your lack of magnesium. But here's the critical part. Not all magnesium is created equal, and this is where most men go wrong. They grab any supplement off the shelf, take it faithfully, yet feel no difference at all. Why? Because they've chosen the wrong form of magnesium. And that one mistake is the reason so many men give up in frustration. In the next section, I'll reveal the specific forms of magnesium that actually work for men over 60, and how choosing correctly can mean the difference between disappointment and a real transformation. One of the most common frustrations I hear from men goes like this: "Doctor, I eat my vegetables, I snack on nuts. I even take better care of myself than I did when I was younger. So why do I still feel weak, restless, and drained at night?" And I look at them with empathy because I know the truth. It isn't laziness, it isn't neglect, and it certainly isn't just age. The real reason is this: after 60s, your body simply doesn't hold on to magnesium the way it used to. Even if you do everything right, the very mineral that fuels your nightly recovery is quietly slipping away. Think about it: when you were younger, the food you ate was richer in nutrients, and your body absorbed them more easily. The soil decades ago was healthier, richer, and full of minerals. Today, that's no longer the case. Today, thanks to modern farming methods, much of the magnesium in our soil has been stripped away. That means even if you load your plate with spinach seeds or other magnesium-rich foods, you're not getting the same nutrition you once did. To make matters worse, as you age, your digestive system changes. Your gut becomes less efficient at absorbing nutrients, so the small amount of magnesium you do consume often passes straight through without ever reaching your cells. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You pour and pour, but it never stays full. I'll never forget one man who came to see me. He was proud of his diet, no junk food, home-cooked meals, careful choices every day. He thought he was doing everything right, yet he felt exhausted, discouraged, and ashamed of the way his body had changed. When we tested his magnesium, the results were shocking. His levels were dangerously low. He looked at me and said, "Doc, I feel like I've been betrayed by my own body." And in many ways, he had been not by carelessness or poor choices, but by the natural process of aging that robs the body of absorption and drains away the very mineral it needs to stay strong. On top of that, many of the most common medications men take after 60, blood pressure drugs, statins, even simple antacids, actually flush magnesium out of the body faster. So while you think you're supporting your health with these prescriptions, they're quietly depleting the very nutrient that helps you sleep deeply, recover fully, and maintain your vitality as a man. This is why I always say magnesium deficiency isn't a matter of discipline. It's almost inevitable once you pass 60, and until you replace it in the right way, your body will continue to suffer silently night after night. But here's where it gets interesting. Your body has a way of warning you when magnesium deficiency is at play. In fact, there are clear signals you can watch for, and once you recognize them, you'll finally understand what your body has been trying to tell you all along. 4. The silent symptoms of nighttime magnesium deficiency. Over the years, I've learned that the body speaks in whispers long before it ever shouts in crisis. For men over 60, those whispers often come at night. They find themselves waking 2 or 3 times to use the bathroom, even when their bladder isn't really full. They toss and turn, slipping in and out of strange dreams, never quite resting. Their legs cramp or tingle, forcing them to stretch in the dark. And when morning finally comes, they rise with the heavy weight of exhaustion, as if their bed had offered them no rest at all. These aren't just random annoyances. They are the fingerprints of magnesium deficiency. I remember one patient telling me, "Doc, I feel like I spend the whole night fighting my body instead of recharging it." His words struck me because I knew exactly what he meant. Instead of surrendering to deep healing sleep, his nervous system was stuck in overdrive. Without enough magnesium to relax his muscles and regulate his nerves, his body never entered the restorative stages of sleep that build testosterone and restore male potency. By the time dawn broke, he was already defeated. And it's not just the body, it's the mind too. Magnesium deficiency erodes patience, fuels irritability, and creates a low-grade anxiety that lingers all day long. Men tell me they snap at loved ones for no reason, feel restless in their own skin, and notice the spark of confidence they once carried has dimmed. Perhaps the most personal sign of all those strong morning erections that once came effortlessly become weaker, less frequent, or disappear altogether. For many men, that loss isn't just physical, it cuts deeply into their sense of manhood. The real tragedy is that most men never connect these symptoms to something as simple as a mineral deficiency. They blame their age, their stress, or even their partners, never realizing their body is simply crying out for what it no longer has. But once you recognize these signals for what they really are, warnings of a deeper imbalance, you hold the power to change your future. The good news is this magnesium deficiency doesn't have to control you. It can be corrected. And when it is, those quiet whispers of discomfort begin to fade away. But here's the crucial step you need to understand before making that change. Not all magnesium is created equal. Choosing the wrong type will leave you just as frustrated as before. In fact, the form of magnesium you take determines whether your body truly recovers at night or whether it keeps struggling in silence. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover. 5. The right forms of magnesium for men over 60. One of the most important lessons I've learned in decades of treating men is this: it's not enough to simply take a supplement and hope for the best. The form it comes in, the way your body absorbs it, and how it interacts with your system. These factors make the difference between disappointment and transformation. Magnesium is no exception. In fact, it's one of the most misunderstood nutrients out there. Walk into any pharmacy, and you'll see shelf after shelf of magnesium bottles, each with a different label: oxide citrate, chloride glycinate, threonate. Most men assume they're all the same. But let me tell you from experience, they're not. Choosing the wrong form can leave you wondering why nothing is changing. Choosing the right one can unlock the recovery your body has been craving for years. I think back to a gentleman in his 70s who came to me after trying magnesium on his own. He had bought the cheapest bottle he could find at the drugstore and took it faithfully for weeks. Yet his sleep remained shallow, his energy was flat, and his erections were still weak. When I asked what form he was using, I wasn't surprised to hear it was magnesium oxide, a poorly absorbed type that often irritates the stomach. After switching him to the right form, the change was remarkable. Within days, his nights became calmer, his mornings brighter, and his confidence slowly returned. For men over 60, I focus on 2 specific forms of magnesium. The first is magnesium glycinate, sometimes called bisglycinate. This form is gentle on the stomach and highly absorbable. More importantly, it directly activates the body's relaxation system, loosening tense muscles, calming the mind, and preparing you for deep restorative sleep. It also helps blood vessels expand, which is critical for strong erections, and eases the nighttime anxiety that keeps so many men awake. The second is magnesium L-threonate, unique because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. That means it doesn't just help the body, it helps the mind. It sharpens memory, quiets racing thoughts, and allows you to slip back into sleep when you wake in the middle of the night. For men who lie awake with a worry, this form can truly be life-changing. Not all magnesium will give you these results, and that's why choosing the right form matters so much. The type you select can determine whether your nights remain frustrating or whether they finally begin to restore you. But there's another piece to this puzzle that's just as important as choosing the right form timing. Because when you take magnesium is just as critical as which type you take. 6. How to take it correctly at night. I've seen far too many men give up on magnesium, not because it doesn't work, but because no one ever told them how to use it properly. The truth is, when it comes to restoring your energy, your potency, and your sleep timing and consistency are just as important as the nutrient itself. Your body follows rhythms. Your heart, your hormones, even your sleep cycles all move to a natural clock. And if you want magnesium to do its job, you must give it to your body at the exact time it's ready to receive it. That time is at night, about 30 to 60 minutes before you lie down. I often tell my patients to think of magnesium as the key that unlocks the door to restorative sleep. Take it too early and your body won't feel the full benefit when it's needed most. Take it too late and you may already have missed the window to trigger the calm that prepares you for deep rest. When you take magnesium at just the right moment, you'll feel your muscles let go of their tension. Your heartbeat steadies into a calmer rhythm. Your mind grows quiet in a way that feels almost effortless. Dosage matters too for magnesium glycinate. I typically recommend 200 to 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium each night. For magnesium L-threonate, the range is usually 1 to 2 grams, which provides about 144 milligrams of elemental magnesium. The key is to start low, let your body adjust and increase only if needed. Think of it as teaching your body to trust its natural rhythm, again, step by step. Pair it with something soothing, a warm glass of water, or a calming herbal tea, like chamomile or passion flower, to signal your body it's time to rest. This simple ritual tells your system, it's time to shut down, recover, and rebuild. There are also habits that make all the difference. After taking magnesium, avoid staring at your phone, watching late-night TV, or sitting under harsh, bright lights. These signals trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime, fighting against the very calm magnesium is trying to create. Instead, dim the lights, breathe deeply, and allow the natural calm to take over. When you follow this routine consistently night after night, you're not just taking a supplement, you're resetting your body's entire recovery system. And that's when the true transformation begins. Now, you may be wondering, if I do this, what should I expect? How quickly will I notice a difference, and what signs will tell me my body is finally healing? That's where we go next. 7. What to expect, the transformation. Timeline. One of the most common questions I hear is, Doc, if I start taking this at night, when will I feel the difference? I always smile because I understand how eager men are to feel alive again, to reclaim that spark they thought was gone forever. The truth is, your body responds faster than you might imagine. And while every man's journey is unique, I've seen a clear pattern emerge time and time again. In the very first nights, usually within days 1 through 3, most men begin to notice a gentle shift. In the first few nights, something subtle but powerful happens. Men fall asleep faster, no longer tossing and turning for hours. Their bodies surrender naturally to rest. Muscles feel lighter, as if hidden tension has finally been released. The heartbeat settles into a steady rhythm that carries them into deep restorative sleep. One man told me, Doc, it felt like my body finally remembered how to turn itself off. For many, those first days bring the very first taste of real relief. By days 4 through 7, the transformation builds. Mornings feel less heavy. Men wake up clearer, less groggy, and with fewer trips to the bathroom at night. Some even notice the return of spontaneous morning erections, both a surprise and a gift proof that blood vessels and testosterone production are coming back online. Their bodies feel lighter, stronger, more energized. And with that comes something even more powerful, the return of hope. By the end of 2 full weeks, the change becomes undeniable. Sleep stretches into a solid 6 to 8 hours without interruption. Nervous energy and anxious thoughts fade away. Libido, once distant, suddenly feels natural again. Men tell me they look at their partners differently with a spark they thought had vanished. They carry themselves with a quiet confidence that radiates from within. One patient put it perfectly, I feel like myself again, only younger. And remember, all of this happens without drugs, without synthetic hormones, and without dangerous side effects. Simply by giving the body back what it has been missing, the natural rhythm of recovery takes over and rebuilds you from the inside out. But before you rush to get started, let me share a word of caution. There are a few common mistakes that can derail your progress and leave you wondering why it didn't work. Knowing these pitfalls can mean the difference between frustration and lasting results. 8. Avoid these 3 common mistakes. I can't tell you how many times I've met men who said, "Doctor, I tried magnesium and it didn't do a thing for me." Every time I look closer, I discover the problem isn't magnesium itself, it's the way men are using it. The truth is, even the most powerful remedy will fail if it's taken the wrong way. And unfortunately, there are 3 common mistakes that rob men of the results they so desperately want. Mistake 1, choosing the wrong form. Magnesium oxide is the most common type sold in stores because it's cheap to manufacture. But cheap doesn't mean effective. In fact, magnesium oxide is poorly absorbed and often causes stomach upset or diarrhea. One patient of mine took it faithfully for weeks only to feel worse. When I switched him to magnesium glycinate, the difference was night and day. He told me I thought magnesium didn't work, but really I just didn't know what I was buying. That's the trap so many men fall into. Mistake 2, taking it at the wrong time of day. Magnesium is a natural relaxer. It calms your nerves, eases your muscles, and prepares your body for sleep. If you take it in the morning, it can backfire, leaving you sluggish and sleepy when you need energy the most. One man admitted he had been taking it with his breakfast for months, wondering why his afternoons felt so heavy. Once he shifted it to nighttime, his body finally responded the way it was meant to. Timing isn't just important, it's everything. Mistake 3, inconsistency. I see this all the time. A man starts strong, takes magnesium for a few days, then skips a night, then a weekend, and eventually forgets altogether. Magnesium doesn't work like a switch you flip on and off. It builds up, gradually restoring balance night after night. If you skip doses, your body never finds its rhythm. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't water them once and expect a garden. Just like planting seeds, you water them every day until life takes root. Your body deserves the same daily commitment. These mistakes are so common, yet so easy to avoid once you know the truth. And when you do, magnesium finally works the way nature intended. But here's something many men don't realize. Even when you're consistent, the results can become dramatically stronger when magnesium is paired with a few key nutrients. This powerful combination supercharges recovery and vitality. 9. The secret boost, magnesium plus zinc plus vitamin B. 6. Over the years, I've noticed something fascinating when helping men restore their vitality. Magnesium alone is powerful, but when you give the body a few extra building blocks alongside it, the results become faster, deeper, and longer lasting. Think of it like tuning up an old engine. You don't just change the oil, you also replace the spark plugs and clean the filters so the whole machine runs better. For men over 60, the perfect tune-up comes from pairing magnesium with zinc and vitamin B6. Together, this trio is often called ZMA. And for good reason, it has been a game changer for countless men who thought their best days were long gone. Here's why. Magnesium sets the stage by calming the body, deepening sleep, and allowing testosterone production to rise naturally. Zinc then steps in to support that testosterone, strengthening the very foundation of male potency. Without enough zinc, the body struggles to maintain healthy levels of the hormone that fuels desire, energy, and muscle recovery. I've had patients who were shocked to discover that a simple zinc deficiency had been quietly undermining their strength for years. Once replenished, their sense of manhood returned in ways they never expected. Vitamin B6 is the unsung hero. It helps your body actually use the magnesium and zinc you consume, ensuring these nutrients don't just pass through your system, but go to work where they're needed most. It also plays a vital role in balancing mood and supporting brain health. Many men tell me they feel calmer, clearer, and more centered when they combine magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6. I remember one man in his late 60s who had nearly given up on supplements. He tried magnesium alone and noticed some improvement, but still felt something was missing. When we added zinc and B6 to his nightly routine, he came back weeks later almost in disbelief. His sleep was deep and steady. His morning energy was strong. And with a smile I hadn't seen in years, he told me, "Doc, my wife says I'm a new man." That moment reminded me why this combination matters so much. It doesn't just change the body, it changes lives. Yes, magnesium is the foundation, but when you combine it with zinc and vitamin B6, you give your body the full recipe it needs to restore testosterone, rebuild energy, and reignite desire. The results can feel nothing short of remarkable. But there's still one final truth I need you to hear. Something deeper than any vitamin or supplement. Because ultimately, the question isn't just about nutrients, it's about what kind of man you want to be in this next chapter of your life. And that's exactly what I want to leave you with. Tend the emotional core, why this matters. Whenever I speak to men about their health, I remind them that what we're really talking about isn't just sleep or testosterone or even erections. It's the very essence of how you feel about yourself as SOMM. Too often, fatigue, poor sleep, and fading potency are accepted as the normal price of aging. And that acceptance slowly steals more than energy. It steals confidence, intimacy, and joy. I've seen men avoid the mirror because they no longer recognize the face staring back. I've heard husbands admit they've stopped reaching for their wives, not because the love was gone, but because of shame. Those moments break my heart because I know deep down this decline is not inevitable. Your body isn't failing because time has run out. It's struggling because it has been starved of the fuel it needs to recover. When you give your body back the fuel it's been missing, when you restore magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6, you're not just fixing a nutrient deficiency. You're awakening a part of yourself that never truly disappeared. It only went dormant. The spark of vitality, the fire of intimacy, the energy that makes life exciting, it's all still inside you, waiting to be awakened. I'll never forget one patient in his late 60s who came to me nearly defeated. His shoulders slumped, his voice quiet, convinced life had passed him by. But just weeks after rebuilding his nightly routine, he walked back into my office, taller but smiling, with a light in his eyes I hadn't seen before. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I got a piece of myself back. My wife says I laugh again." That's what this is really about. Not just deeper sleep or brighter mornings, but the return of the man you thought you'd lost. Carry this truth with you. Virility doesn't have an expiration date. Strength, passion, clarity, they don't vanish with age. They fade when your body stops recovering, and they return when you help it heal at night. This is why I call sleep the foundation of manhood. Because when your nights are strong, your days can be powerful. But before we finish, I want to leave you with one final message, a call to action that could change the way you think about aging forever. Gentlemen, we've walked through a truth too many men never hear. The restless nights, the mornings that drain you before the day even begins, the fading strength of your erections, the loss of energy and confidence. All of it has less to do with age and far more to do with what your body has been missing. Magnesium is not just a mineral. For men over 60, it is the night vitamin, the quiet foundation, that allows your body to recover, rebuild, and rise with strength again. When it's gone, you feel it everywhere. When it's restored, you begin to feel alive again. I've seen men come back from the edge of despair simply by giving their bodies the fuel they were missing. I've seen sleep deepen, mornings brighten, and intimacy return to marriages that felt lost. I've witnessed the pride in a man's voice when he says, "I feel like myself again." And I want you to know this isn't reserved for someone else. It's available to you too. Age is not the enemy. Neglect is. And now that you know the truth, you hold the power to change it. So here is my challenge to you. Commit to yourself tonight. Take the right form of magnesium. Take it at the right time. Be consistent. Pair it with zinc and B6 if you can. Protect your nights as the sacred time of recovery they are meant to be. Because your best years are not behind you. They are waiting to be unlocked. Your virility, your vigor, your deep and healing sleep can all return. But it begins with a choice. And that choice starts tonight with one simple step.